Welcome everyone to On Loose Lines, and I've got everything sorted except for one thing. Didn't have my sign up. I don't know where my sign's gone. I had everything going on there and it's disappeared. That's why it's not there. So I don't know what has happened to my On Loose Lines sign, but it has disappeared on me. So can't have my side, which is very disappointing, but that's okay. Welcome everyone, as I'm always live on Facebook and YouTube, so please get involved in the conversations. I encourage everyone to get involved with the conversations as they go. Internet's a little bit slow here tonight, so hopefully that people will be able to keep up and go from there, and we can go that way. Troy Harley's just sending me a message at the same time, but that's fine. No guests tonight. One of my number one supporters will not be tuning in, Alexander Hurley, because she's actually sitting behind the leader as we speak in race number 3, the Hip Pocket Workwear Trot at Melton. Of course, I'm not allowed to show you the races, but I can tell you Tiara Stride is sitting behind the $1.20 pop at the minute. Chris Elford still seems to have a bit of horse here. Sierra Key in front for Jackie Barker. Got a lot of buffering happening, unfortunately, on my internet, so this race could actually even be over at the minute. Is travelling good though. Alex is a fair chance here. She's got out and got going. That the short price favourite has kicked home. I've got my TV in the wrong spot. Anyone wondering what I'm going to do? And no. I'm just trying to find that horse's name. Oh, there it is there. Sierra Key for Johnny Mead and Jackie Barker. Take out race number 3 ahead of Tiara Stride, who paid $3.60 the place, and then Coogan Anne-Marie Conroy at $6.10 the place. Thank you, Mother, for the rabbits. That is pretty good. Encourage everyone to get involved in the show tonight. Yes, Timmy White, very, very rugged up. I want people to get involved. I want people to send through comments and the likes. I cheekily called it Harness Racing's #1 talkback show. It's not, but who cares? It's just a bit of fun that I have when I do this show. And so I want people to be able to log on, get involved, and get into it. And that is one of the questions I did have. So I'm going to ask a couple of questions. Got a couple of little things to go through tonight, but I want people to get involved in it and help set the agenda. Regional racing raised its head through COVID times just recently, and it was mixed reports received mixedly and the likes, I suppose, mixedly, if that's such a word. But it did work for a few ways. It gave a few people a chance of earning some nice money against their neighbours, if you like, and going that way. It also highlighted quite a few of the people. Now, it's one of those ones, I just wonder, wall-to-wall racing never stops. Always keep going with it, and it will always be that way. They're not going to stop. We're racing Good Friday now. Is this the opportunity this time of year? Shortest day of the year is this weekend. Is this the opportunity where we can go back to a little bit of regional racing, be able to wind it down a little bit so that the people in Bendigo area race once a week, the guys in Shep race once a week, and potentially limited stake money. Put the stake money down a little bit before people turn around and say, it's hardly fair if you're here or you're there. Limit the stake money, drop the stake money down potentially. And give other people, people a chance of going away. Chris Elford there, he's driving on a Wednesday night at Melton. They drive wall to wall. Jack Law, they had Sunday at Warrigal. They're all over the place, these drivers, and they continue to go, as are trainers. Alex Ashwood, he had horses racing at Warrigal, Mildura, all over the place. So these guys are having a crack. Is it time that we have a 2-week period where we go to regional racing and just potentially slow things down for the participants and for their own health? And one of the real kickers, Timmy White says they're well rugged up tonight. It's so cold and dark here at the minute, Timmy, especially in Bendigo. I don't think it's as bad right across the state. But Bendigo today is one of those kicker days where it's very, very dark and cold. It was dark by 4:30. We were inside, fed up, and finished by 4:30 because it was dark and cold. People on the roads, icy conditions, wet conditions. It's the sort of times of the year that potentially we could have regional racing, whereas limit, traffic on the road, keep people at home, give the seniors a chance to take off on a holiday, 2-week holiday. I know Mick Guerin's big on it. Senior drivers need to have time off and get away. The likes of Jack Law and Chris Alford at a melting meeting tonight. If it was regional racing, you guys are senior drivers, sorry, but take a week away and get away from it. It might be 2 weeks of regional racing, but we'll limit you to race once a week and go from there. So just something I want to throw out there. Want people to get involved if they're happy to. If you're not, that's fine. But that's set the agenda yourself if you like. The other one, I posted a thing today about the cold weather. I hate the cold weather. I am a summer bod. I think I love summer. Some people hate it. I love it, and I think it's a great time of year. And you can do so much more in summertime than you can in winter. How do you handle the winter? What do you guys do? Timmy White and the guys in New Zealand, they'd probably laugh at us over here. I don't know what the temperature got to today, but it wasn't anything pleasant. It was wet all the time and didn't stop raining, just trying to find my weather app. And it was worse in Kyneton, it was worse in Woodend. So how people cope, if you like, working horses, trudging around in the mud, the slush, 4 o'clock comes and you have to go out and feed up. Sorry, MYO got in very, very quick. Fly to Broome. If you're going, I'm coming, Em. Don't you worry about that. But it is one of those ones. It was today. I was meant to get to 15. I don't know how I get the results of what the forecast was today. Actually, don't know how you do that on your weather app. But it wasn't hot anyway. It was incredibly cold and unpleasant. I was out in it all day. And I'm not sooking. It's just one of those ones. I think with people with horses, it is hard to do. G just there. Even though the weather is cold, wet, windy, the horses still need their routine and racing opportunities. Absolutely, Dot. Don't disagree one bit. They definitely need their opportunities, but a lot of the better horses will be out in the paddocks getting ready for the better racing. I just think it's an opportunity that the racing will still be there. There'll be once a week at Bendigo, Ballarat. Some of the main centres. We don't want people travelling if we can help it any more than an hour, so maybe an hour and 15. And just something, we did it through regional racing. It was very, very successful, and I think it could work. I think it's one of those things that we could potentially just slow down on having participants on the track and going around. Been waiting for one of my other Kiwi mates to join in. I might actually put this one up for Timmy. I haven't seen Cam Bray on there either, but I did get this hat given to me in New Zealand to wear, and it is Todd Racing Limited. Graham Hand always joins in, and it's I met Regan over there. I met him a couple of times before, so thank you very much. I've got to do something with my hats. I'm going to try and have my hats up behind me. If anyone has an idea on how I can hang about 100 hats up, showcasing them, I'd also like to have that as well. MYO just said then spoiled here 21 today. Is that in New South Wales or is that in Broome? Either way, not happy with you one bit. So Regan Todd, thank you very much, Regan, for giving me the hat. And as I said, then they unfortunately end up on the floor, so I want to try and do something there for those. But please, if you have any ideas, please get involved and give me some questions there. The last at Bendigo Greyhounds has just been run and won, so there's a chance Daniel Hibberd will soon be sending me a text message, so you don't have to worry about being stuck listening to me the whole time on my own, and he will be talking about the Pink Diamond and what's got coming up as well in the greyhound world, plus a few other things, I must say. What hat have I got on? Barrostock hat. So we'll actually just start with the fact of Wobbly retiring. I think it is yes, he is. New South Wales 21 degrees, and Timmy White, Graham, but he always tends to join in, so I'm just wondering where he actually is at the minute, but he'll get there. Yep, exactly, Dot. I need some hooks. Marie's not keen on having 1,000 hooks in the wall though, Dot, but I've got to work it out. I've got to get a way of being able to get them out there. I must there's got to be someone who's a bit smarter than me where I can hang them and change them and be able to still have them all on show. So, because I do appreciate the hats and I appreciate everyone that supports me. And that's why tonight's show is Cold Winter's Might. And there's one of those ones that there's not a lot to talk about. So I'll throw those questions out there to you. But Wobbly retiring during the week. He was a super horse that I had a lot of time for. I wish they had to change the rules for him. I think they were steadfast through the middle part of his racing career where they were saying that he had to circle on his own, and so consequently was put out of the draw because he wouldn't circle. So having the best horses should be allowed to race. Someone held him, walked him up, let him go when the mobile got going. He would have been going around as good as gold and probably could have won more races, Wobbly. But great horse, and sad to see him retiring. He'll enjoy retirement. He'll have a good life. He was a quirky horse on the racetrack. He was a lovable horse, and I know Alison and Chris, Josh, everyone there loved him and had a real soft spot for him. So sad to see him retiring, but he will be well looked after in his retirement. I've got no doubt at all. This is also on YouTube, so if you are watching on YouTube, hit the subscribe button if you haven't, but don't be scared to send in your comments in on the YouTube page as well, because I can definitely see those there on that. Must always turn the audio down, but yep, so please, if you're on the YouTube feed, make sure you send in those comments as well and get involved in the conversation. I was cheeky. I said I'm the number one talkback show in harness racing, and that's exactly what it is. My mate Graham Hand is on there. I've got 7 comments. I think I've got through most of those. I better make sure. Just try to keep up with them all, but going from there. Lee Sutton is on board too. G'day, Lee. Good to see you. I'm not sure if Lee's driving at Melton tonight. He'll be cold and rugged up because he doesn't have a lot of skin on the bone, young Leroy. So he does feel, he'd feel the cold a lot more than a few of us, that's for sure. Now, said about Wobbly there, and I've got MYO on board, so we'll retire the Barristock hat. One of the issues I will have is I'll have to have 3 hooks because I'll have to have the hats that I have to put on when I'm talking about the people as well, but we'll get there. Nutrien just finished the winter woolly sales last week. This week we've got the Euroby, that's why, the Euroby sale, and it is on this, sorry, it's not. It is on Saturday week, the 25th of June. The sale will commence online and goes through till Monday the 27th of June at 6 o'clock to make sure that people can get involved with the state of origin of all things, but because it is on the Sunday, so smart move there. So it was a Saturday Sunday sale. Now this will be a Saturday Monday sale, purely online, but I will be there next weekend going live from Euroby, and we'll have some guests. Greg Gengle's going to join me live from 10 o'clock. I think it is. I better get this sign back up. Yep, 10 a.m. through to 2 o'clock. We're going to have horses parade. We're going to have guests there as well, people getting involved. I want people, if you want to see a horse, get involved there as well, and check that out, and to be able to view the full lot of horses. Go to nutrienequine.com.au and you'll be able to see the full catalogue, and it's very, very simple. Em's put a little message in there, and she's 100% right, and I will get to that in a sec, but it's so good now, and Em's probably responsible for this, but when you go to the Nutrien Equine site, it'll actually have the spot where you go to get your bidders card. So if you've bought through Nutrien before, it's very, very simple, but yeah, there's actually a link there now to follow the bidders card, so you'll be able to just click on that. So just go Nutrien Equine, follow it to the standardbred, so .com.au, follow it to the standardbred section, and then to the Euroby dispersal sale, and you'll be able to find everything there. It's all there, very simple, the bidders card and the likes. Don't leave it to the last minute. You've still got a week and a half to go, but don't leave it to the last minute to register, please. It's the one thing we want people to do. I will be doing, as I always do, the final half hour or so of the sale on my show, but I encourage people to register, to bid, get your bid card, and watch it online. You can have me going in the background, underneath, whatever, listen to me ramble on. I'm fine with that, but I want people to be aware that they must if you want to be involved in it, register prior to that Friday. It's a lot easier. The girls will look after you. If you ring on the Monday, yeah, they'll do it, but try and get it done before it. If you don't buy, you don't buy. But if you want to buy, it's the only way to do it, and make sure that you're organised and ready to go from there. So that is the Euroby sale. As I said, that will be conducted on the Saturday the 25th of June, starting at 9 a.m. and finishing at 6 p.m. Monday the 27th. So I'll be live, rabbiting on, talking about the sale as it goes, and I encourage people to make sure that they get in, get their big cards, and go from there. So if I've missed anything, Em will go. Now, Em has actually typed in something here too, and she understands the interactive and getting in part of it, and also getting the word out of there that there will be drinks and nibblies at the Wagga RSL this Saturday night, 6 o'clock in the sports bar, and people are encouraged to come along and stay the night. Recommendation is to stay at the RSL club as well, and then get up in the morning to come out to the open day. So please get involved in it that way. So from 6 o'clock at the Wagga RSL, there's possibly a chance it could be a couple of camp draft guys as well. So Bardo's got a few things on that weekend, but please make sure you visit the Wagga RSL. And if you want to book your night's accommodation there, that will be where everyone will be staying, like-minded people. So have a bit of fun this weekend. But sad that the dispersal sale's happening. Some really intriguing lots. A lot of the New Zealanders will be there. Myself and Mark Barton did a promotional preview, if you like, prior to early this morning. Actually, we did something a bit differently going there, and so we covered off on all the mares. Greg Gengle's going to join me tomorrow, maybe even live, and we will promote a lot of the weanlings, because the weanling videos have gone up onto that sales catalogue as well. So make sure you go and check out the catalogue, hit where the videos are. The mares, they'll only be still photos, and some of the other horses. But yeah, please make sure you go there and check it out. Check out all the weanlings. New Zealanders, a few of the guys there, Timmy White, Graham Hand, and a few of the others there. Yeah, there's a lot of New Zealand blood in that sale, so it will be a lot of intrigue. For those travelling, links to the RSL are on our website, accommodation available. So there you are, Nutrient are doing all the hard work for you, and Em's even making me look good here at the minute. She's doing all the hard work as well. Sam Pearson's joined us, Matt Glover, but thank you very much, Em. Make sure you click it on and get the accommodation. Make a weekend of it and have some fun. It finishes at 2 o'clock. I'm sure not everyone will be just packing up and going from there. Make sure you ring the guys at Mataranka Park, the Johnson boys as well, that you're in the area. They'll be probably at their sale, but yeah, going from there. So, and yes, I am live on the Sunday from 10 till 2. Exactly how that will all work, not sure. But yes, we will be live from 10 till 2 Sunday, live from Euroby. So as I said, Greg Gangle, Mark Barton, Dennis Howe will be there, the Johnson boys will be there. So and we'll be highlighting as much of that sale as we can going forward. So that is the plan with that going forward. So Daniel Hibberd is almost, well, he's actually ready. I've got to do a couple of things. What I might do is actually do one of these, look after one of my sponsors very quickly.
For every stage of your horse's career, find your edge with the Barristock Racing range of feeds.
Right, I'm back, and I think I have Daniel Hibberd. I do have him, if I hit that button the right way. Hello, Daniel.
Hello, Paul.
How's it going, mate?
It's wet.
People don't believe how wet and cold it is. Hang on one sec. I just got to do one thing, because my mate Graham Hand is on, and he made sure that I got one of these hats. So I just got to put Regan Todd's hat back on, but I need to work out a way to get all my hats hung up and go from there. Yes, Emyo, I definitely will wing it, but you know what that means, Emmy, don't you? Look out for your phone. Make sure your phone's on between 10 and 2 Sunday. So yeah, but keep up to date. Campbell's comments and Nutrient Equine. There'll be lots of posts going up that we'll be getting plenty of stuff going out for there. It is wet and cold. I said that before, that a lot of people here, probably across the state, don't realise it's bad here in Bendigo today, isn't it?
It's shocking. I was in the caller's box, but even with the heater open and heater on, I should say, the window open to call the races, it was bitterly cold. So I felt for the participants with the dogs today.
Yeah, it is. It was. It is an unusual day. Yes, G, definitely it is a great Barrostock ad, I must say, and I'm going to continue to try and put those in there as I can. I'm going to do this one off, and I've got to get you back on. It's a lot easier when people know that you're there, that you can actually see you, Daniel. So we can't actually see you talking, but it gets a little bit tricky. Well, I've got a couple of things I want to get across. So please don't tune out. If you're tuning in, don't worry about that at all. But Daniel, this Friday night, it's Friday night. The Pink Diamond is going to be run at Ballarat, and you are going to be the caller, mate. So you must be stoked to be asked to go there. I know you called it last year with us at Bendigo, but this year been asked to come back again.
Yeah, really happy about it. I mean, it really sort of kicked off my calling career, I guess, following that meeting last year, and there was some super dogs going around in that night. It was actually funny. I went through some of the runners. There was actually 4 runners that went on from that meeting to make the Melbourne Cup final. So it is actually a really important night for Victoria bred greyhounds because it gives them an opportunity to go on to bigger things, and last year was a clear indication of that. Yeah,
no, definitely it does indeed, and it is a super night. $1.1 million in stake money on offer across 12 races. Astronomical.
Yeah, it's huge. I mean, and the thing with it is it's a bit different. I mean, it's like the Vic Bred in terms of you've got your top end races for the size final on New Year's Eve and that sort of thing. But then you've got the ability to have these dogs at the lower end of the ability wise to race for really good money. Like there's some of these dogs on Friday night that are going to race for 25 grand. They'll never race for that sort of money ever again. They'll be back in the restricted graded events, but they get the opportunity to race with some huge stakes, and it's a really good promotion by DRV, and the Victorian breeders have got right behind. There's a lot of bonus prize money up for grabs for the breeders and that across the night on Friday.
No, absolutely, and for the harness participants here, when we say 25 grand or 75 grand, unfortunately, that is first prize. That is the advertised dollar that the races are worth is actually what goes to first prize. There is money paid, and there is a scale and goes from there. But basically, yeah, there is $25,000 to the winner. So effectively, they're probably about $32,000 to $33,500 races for us in the trots.
That's about right. Yeah, so it's a big chunk of it goes to the winner.
No, it is indeed, and it's going to be a good race. How was Bendigo today, mate?
Well, it rained all day. Like, it was one of those lower, I guess you could say from a harness perspective, it was a restricted meeting. So you got the lower class dogs there today, but look, it was some pretty good racing, but yeah, it just rained all day. And honestly didn't stop all day, so they were a hardy bunch out there with their dogs this afternoon.
Yeah, will say. I've actually fired that one in. I actually have fired a question out there that Alex Hurley, good luck, Alex. Alex is watching. She's had Tiara Stride, just went terrific. Hopefully she's still tuned in. Tiara Stride just went terrific. And she has got Manguido going around in about 5 minutes. So good luck, Alexander. We will be watching Ambarak in. The whole On Loose Lines crew will definitely be getting involved with that. That's a bit odd. I found my signs come back. Now I know where it is. Yes, Alex, we do know there's races, and if I was allowed to, I'd have the races in between my show. That would be a lot of fun. Interactive show. But we won't go there, Daniel. I'll get into trouble for that.
You will.
You left that one alone. Charlton Harness Racing Club. Andrea Gorman, she hasn't got involved just yet, mate. But how are you going? Because I can tell you now, I had another duck egg. But this is one of those unofficial ones because I actually forgot to put my tips in again.
You're so good. Yeah, I picked 3 out of 5 last night, so it was a couple of shorty. So I sort of played it safe and just got a bit more money in the bank. So I think I've picked over 500 in earnings. So I don't know where that puts me, but it would probably put me somewhere near the top.
For people that aren't aware, and a lot of people aren't actually aware of how it all works, basically you get involved with the Facebook page and then get into a tipping contest. Costs you $10. Did it?
$10.
$10, and then you have imaginary $20.
$20, yeah.
$20 on a horse in each race. And it was 5 horses, I think, at Bendigo last night.
Yep.
And it works beautifully. It's actually there to stimulate the turnover, if you like, through watching it. And what Andrea does terrifically is they encourage people to go to thetrots.com.au to be able to watch the feed through that channel. So it is actually it's a really smart move, and I think a few other clubs will get involved in it, that's for sure. So and go from there. I had a little bit of fun the other day, Daniel. You were a bit nervous, but yeah, Cam Bray is there. This is the #1 harness talkback show, hands down. He's took his time getting involved, to Cameron. He's getting ready for a sales, and he might have a croaky voice. So I didn't actually ask him to come on, Daniel. I think he's feeling the effects of a lurgy that might have made its way across there.
Wouldn't surprise me. That lurgy's been everywhere.
We might have got there through a couple of Australians, mainly myself and Kath McIntosh, but that's okay. When they invite us, that's what they've got to keep up with. Daniel, you are about third, but Mick Gadsden is flying up the board. Mick Gadsden, seriously. He's here showing... he is here showing at the moment and pretty pleased with himself. Oh, shooing. That makes it... No. When I first read it, and Andrea can cop this one because she actually said dick last week instead of, I forget what it was, but I think it was a spell check. Anyway, I actually thought it said showering, and I'm like, oh, I don't want to go there with this, but no, that's okay. So we'll leave that one alone. I wish I had read that second part a bit quicker because it wasn't making a lot of sense to me. But Mick Gadsden does know his form. He's pretty good that way and can shoe a horse all right too. Must say it's a bit dark outside to be shoeing a horse at this hour of the night, but that is. It is indeed. Regional racing, Daniel. Before you get to that dirty area where you start to drop out, I can do some of the end bits by myself, but it was put to me a little while ago about it and bringing it back in. And when the weather's fine, I'm like, no, we don't need this. It's silly. And people should be able to plan their own holidays and go from there. A day like today, there's possibly a fair bit of merit in it for a lot of reasons. Not just necessarily the participants, but your stewards, your judges, things like that, just to slow things down, just for a fortnight. It's 52 weeks of the year. We race 363 days, I think, or 64 days now, I suppose.
Yeah.
We only have Christmas Day off, don't we? Yeah.
That's right. We race Good Friday now.
And there is the occasional race 3 days, so someone will watch that and they'll say, oh, yeah, we don't race when the sales are on and things like that. But 360 days, wall to wall. We expect our best to be at all the tracks because that creates turnover, so that's what we actually want. There's a bit of merit for it this time of year. Like when you're driving home, you're on good roads. You're on very dark roads, though. They're not the easiest roads to drive on at this hour of the night or once it gets wintry. There's a bit to be said about keeping people at home and I suppose, like within an hour of their premises.
We're sort of in a tricky situation because, we're sort of governed, I guess, by Sky Channel who put the product out there majority. I know it's not Crop Vision, which, people might say at home, but we're ruled by, the Sky Channel and, the turnover that we get from the TOB. So that's the big thing that we've got to worry about. But I think, in some ways, you're right with regards to maybe not making it regional races, but certainly there needs to be something to look at the times that meetings are finishing, particularly at this time of year. There's no point having participants, particularly when they run race meetings at Mildura that finish at like 11 o'clock at night. I think they do the same thing in the dogs as well. I know Shepparton, sometimes I've been there and the last race has been at near enough to 11 o'clock. It does none of the participants any good. And wouldn't think that the turnover would be all that strong at that time of night. So that'd be something that you'd really push for, is restricting the lateness of meetings going any later than, there's probably no need to have meetings going any later than 9 o'clock during this time of year. And allowing participants to sort of get home at a reasonable hour, whether you do make a bit of a restriction on who can participate in particular zones, it might be something to think about. But I think really it's the time that meetings finish. And I really would have thought that, at this time of year, if you're going to start a meeting at 6 o'clock, it's the perfect opportunity to run races 20 minutes apart, get it over and done with, so people can get home, get into the walk, and reduce the risk of anything going wrong for participants travelling late at night.
No, totally. I do agree with that in a way as well. And I must say, while you were saying that, I just looked at Melton as race number 4 is underway now, and Manguardo I'm going to go with. It's a shocking name. Manguardo.
That's it. Manguido, isn't it?
Manguido, that's exactly. Yep, there I'm right. Is lobbed behind the leader. So she had Tiara Stride behind the leader, and now she's sitting on the back of Jessica's Story. And I would imagine Alex would be pretty happy if she could get 2 seconds. So hopefully for her in another lap, that's exactly what she will get. But the favourite's in front, and she's sitting on its back with Majestic Achiever 3 back the fence. For a stable that does a terrific job in the Ainsworth. They do a great job, and they travel some Ks. But tonight...
they travel a long mile.
Yeah, so tonight, Daniel, just looking at that, 12 races. We're on a Wednesday night. It's cold, it's wet. Doesn't look as bad a weather at Melton, but that's luck. It could always be the other way. Bendigo could be okay and Melton could be that way. 10:30, 12 races. Maybe if they restricted it to, say, 8 races this time of year, the last race finishes at 8:30. I did notice when you were saying that, Daniel, Kilmore last week was an 8:30 finish for a night meeting, which is really, really smart for Kilmore, that's for sure. So, so going there.
I just think that I really don't think there's much point in participants, racing at 11 o'clock of the night in the middle of winter. I mean, if you're going to have people staying up watching racing, and I'll admit I stayed up till 1 o'clock last night, but that was for watching the nature strip over in England, and I mean that's not going to happen every night where you've got that sort of racing to look forward to. But on a run-of-the-mill weeknight, there's not going to be too many punters staying up at 11 o'clock at night to have a wager, and you're better off having the participants either on their way home or at home after a race meeting.
No, unfortunately I mozzed Alex, and gee, I might be in all sorts of trouble here in a minute. She's actually, I think, ran 3rd. Jessica's Story has hung on, beaten Dicko Dixon for the Evergreen. Bob Kuchenmeister, which ran 2nd, and I reckon I've got this horse beat. I don't think she's, I reckon it's going to run 4.
She's not going to talk to you for a year.
She won't talk to me. I'm going to be in all sorts of trouble. But actually went okay. Just lost its legs the last little bit. G, who's been terrific tonight. And, I, as I said, I've been cheeky, but this show is about as much the people. The reason we give Alexander Hurley's horses such a good run is because she contributes anytime she can. G, the same tonight. And anyone else out there with ideas, just text them through. Go from there. If you don't want it to be put out, text it to me privately, or if you know me, and I can more than happily do it that way as well. Great point, Daniel. Those late nights for all stakeholders, travelling long distances is tough in this terrible weather. I might be in the good books, Daniel, because I got a woohoo from Alex Early, which means she's ran 3rd, so I haven't totally mozzed her, so that's okay. So she's at a 2nd and a 3rd, so well done there too, Alex. But G, then maybe we should look at more day meetings, or even starting the first race at 1 or 2 o'clock in the winter's months. The problem with that one, Dot, is because a lot of stables, it's 1 or 2 people doing it, they're shocking hours to be out on the road, getting it out. So if you're racing at sort of 6, 7 o'clock, you have to get someone to feed up. At least a night meeting, you can feed up early and go. That 1, 2 o'clock, you might have to be on the road from 11 o'clock, not get home to 5 or 6 It is still better than getting home at midnight, though, please. I'm only just throwing that one out there that I know myself and Marie have had that over the journey where I might be working and Marie's got to leave at 11 and not get home till 7. It can be a bit tricky for the horses going long times in this cold weather, waiting to be fed. So it's a little bit of a tricky one there. Marie Newbury actually pointed out a very good thing. I said the Evergreen Bob Cookenmeister, but yeah, the diminutive Ray Cross, congratulations to him as well, because Jessica's story, now that actually might be that horse's first win, or it might have won one other race, I think. I'm just trying to get it
another race, I reckon, at Maryborough.
No, I reckon it won at Ballarat the night they got the Harasta Trotters Award, Daniel, I think.
Yep.
That we did. No, you're right, Maryborough. Yep, you're right, sorry, Maryborough. No, it's won a couple, actually, that horse. So it's actually had 2 wins from 43 starts. So now it's brought up win number 3 from 44 starts. So well done to Ray Cross and everyone involved there. So, yep, really, really good. Anthony Butt, the Kiwi. The Kiwis are on the show, mate. The Kiwis have had a win as well. So, yeah, there's plenty to go. I noticed Ararat, although I think Ararat have got problems with their lights. They raced last Wednesday during the day, so I think they've got light issues as well. But definitely Ararat's one of those places. Driving home from Ararat is hard and tricky work, and that's one of the things. If you're going to have I suppose, scratch of your head, how does that sound? With the Pink Diamond, Daniel. Seriously, 2 days out from the shortest day, racing it at Ballarat. I'm not sure that that's necessarily asking for brilliant weather. I think the weather looks like it's going to be okay for them. I had a bit of a look at it, and I think it's going to get to a top of about 13, 14, which it won't be at that hour of the night. But it is a bit of a head scratch of why they would race at Ballarat, which nothing against Ballarat, but it is traditionally a lot colder.
Yeah, it's one of those funny ones. It's a bit hard to go why. But I mean, they ran this meeting at the same time last year at Bendigo, and it's right into the calendar. Probably haven't got the option, but in some, it's really promoted it well, Ballarat. They've got a Winter Wonderland sort of set up on the go for the night, so it should be a pretty decent crowd there. Hopefully on Friday, I've got a busy schedule. I've got to call Ballarat and then finish at 11 o'clock, and then I've got to call Shepparton the next morning at 8 o'clock. So we're going on about participants being out late. Well, I'm going to be out late.
Yeah, definitely. So that'll be tricky. Denise Jackson, zone racing is a great idea with the cost of fuel. There's another contributor, so to back it off. Also taken into the equation, many small trainers are already looking for a close-to-home programs. No one looks forward to racing in the last race, 2 hours from home, wet, dark roads with overgrown rats. Yep, we know those. You'll have to keep an eye out for those shortly. Hopping all over the roads and not a fun way to enjoy your sport. Big yes to the 2 weeks zone racing. Thank you very much, Denise, for contributing. And yeah, I think there's a little bit of merit for it. I understand there's probably powers that be, but I think when you start talking about human welfare and even the overgrown rats' welfare, less road traffic on the road, maybe that's a way we could get around it, Daniel. We could say, well, we're doing our bit for the native flora and fauna.
Possibly, but I mean, it's an interesting one. I think the trainers probably less than the drivers. It's more so the drivers, I reckon, is the bigger issue in terms of being out on the roads a lot at night. I know we see the young guys and girls go up to Mildura and do a lot of miles in that go. That's probably the big trick that a lot of them do. The trainers are probably a little bit more circumspect in that they'll, program or plan to race near home, particularly if it's at night time, and if during the day it's probably less of an issue. But it's more the drivers that you sort of feel for that are out the road that's late at night, getting from meeting to meeting.
Yeah, I definitely tend to agree, mate. I think I just think it's. Yeah, the problem will be in a month's time if we go to talk about it. It'll be out of mind, out of sight. But right at the minute, as I said, the shortest day I think is Sunday. Anyway, it's the 21st. it's pretty close to that, Sunday or Monday. So, it doesn't get much darker and miserabler here, and it starts to light up, but I think it's something that they definitely should still be looking at it. Night racing at Kilmore in winter isn't much fun either. No, but Marie, I will say I've seen the plans for the new shed, and I think that is a huge contributor, and it's one of my knocks with Bendigo. Last Sunday I was watching Bendigo, and it was horrendous conditions, and there's no way of getting out of the weather. Kilmore is a little bit the same way now, but I have seen the plans to their new shed, and you won't even have to parade outside into the cold winter's nights. It'll be pretty much pat the driver on the back and say good luck, and when they come back into the shed, you'll be right to go. So for participants, that's going to make a world of difference, because as much as people say, why do we race in Kilmore in winter? Back to what you said, Daniel, about Sky Channel and the TAB, turnover is king, and Kilmore is a track that people bet at and they enjoy it. So and if we want to race for stake money, we've got to be able to, race at the tracks that generate turnover.
Yeah, we do, and I do think they need to look at it, really in the depths of it. There's a few tracks that probably have to have not a cross against them, but it's a bit of a question mark about what conditions can potentially be like. And it's not so much rain and stuff like that. It can be fog and, cold and all that sort of stuff. But there's a few things that need to be thought about. I know that there's only a limited amount of tracks that can race at night and so forth, but location is probably one thing that needs to be looked at just for a couple of weeks during the winter period when it's really cold.
No, definitely. Now, the one thing about this show, I say it's a number one talkback show in harness racing, and I'm going to stick to it because people do get involved. Stacey Towers, encourage everyone to go and watch the interview with Stacey Towers. If you want to understand Stace, she shows a lot. It was a lot of fun. It was a bit random from time to time, but that's okay. That's a little bit of me and a lot of Stacey, so I'm not that random. Generally, I'm very structured. But her comments here, Daniel, maybe not even zoned racing. Now, this has got a lot of merit. But changing the program to ensure there is a couple of meetings each zone each week, conditions. Some races to local horses to that region. Trainers can still travel if they wish. So harness racing might turn around and say, well, we need Brent Lilly, who's having a terrific week too, must say congratulations to him, to be taking his trotters to Maryborough to make those fields stand up and things along those lines. But there's a bit in that if you don't, like to maybe encourage people with a horse that's maybe not performing at its best, to keep it in through those winter months, because you'll be able to race other horses, in Stacey's case, in the Shepparton zone.
That would make a lot of sense, particularly for those between the ratings of like 35 to 50, because you've got so many of those lower ranked horses. I can really see that sort of working for particular areas. Particularly, personally, from a Golden Valley point of view, a lot of horses in that point bracket, and it would certainly give those participants an opportunity to get their horse to win a race, earn prize money without the possibility of something coming in that's in really good form from 3 or 4 hours away.
Yep, absolutely, and it would encourage people to get involved. I'll throw a curveball back at yourself and potentially Stace and anyone else who is watching. What happens, say, Ben Yole at the minute comes over from Tassie? How does how do you do that? Does he have to designate where the horses are? Hey?
Well, you wouldn't program it for a whole meeting. You might only have one race or two. Still have the opportunity.
Yeah.
And I think it's just one or two races during the meeting that might be beneficial to the local participants to give them an opportunity.
No, I absolutely love it, and it's like we've had, we haven't had a lot of people getting involved, but the people that have made perfect sense, and I do get the impression that there is. Would depend on where he is stabled and would fit to that region. Yep, that's fair enough too, I suppose. Stace just saying then that with Ben Yole, it would just be where he's based. So that'll be that'd be it. So I suppose that would make a bit of thinking. Just on that too, Daniel, I don't know if you've seen them, but Shepparton, talk about go-ahead clubs. There's 2 big barns being built, and then a further 4. I'll still call them barns. They're not quite a barn style, but to promote people to get there. So here's a region that one experiences much better weather than just about everyone else. Although it was cold, I was there yesterday. Hello, Glen West. It was cold there yesterday, and it was terrible sort of day. But they have a great local group of trainers, if you like. Their racing is always very, very strong. They always traditionally have strong 12-horse fields and full fields. Have a swipe at Melton tonight, although it is winter time, but they're not quite full fields. They're not far off it, but Shep, you very rarely get 8-horse fields there. And now they're building, stabling for about another eight individual trainers to be training on the track, which is well done to them and huge. They've always had the training facility there, but now they're changing the way they do it. They're thinking a bit differently to try and encourage more and more people to get to that area, which is a win-win for everyone.
It's a really important thing, and giving younger people in particular the opportunity to start training is really, unless you've got a property that might have been handed down through the family or something like that, it's really hard to have access to land and track, stabling, all that sort of stuff ready to go, unless you've got a squillion in the bank. It gives them an opportunity to, basically rent a box or 2, access to a world-class track, access to some of the better trainers going around that can give them advice and help and all that sort of stuff. You've got a club that's, run to support those participants. An excellent trial program as well. So it really makes sense that if you were young and wanting to get into the game with 1 or 2 horses, that would be the perfect place to set up.
Yep, definitely, and the locals will look after you too, like Stacey Wace, Stacey Towers, Marine Newbury. They will definitely look after them, and even very own Daniel Hibberd will look after them. That's for sure. So, and go from there. So, all good. I just got another message, but it's one that I won't be answering, so that's fine. It was just a private one, but So, very, very good. Daniel, where are you? Oh, you keep going. We'll just keep going now anyway. But if you drop out, don't panic. I can definitely finish the show off. Harass the Trotters, great sponsors, got the beanie on at the minute. The job Love You is doing in only standing at 2 seasons here in Australia. Their 3-year-olds, he's about 62%. But the win of Queen Alida just the other day, magic.
It was. I didn't see the full race, but I saw the end of it, and she was sort of a bit of a, I don't know how to describe it. She was sort of always looked like she had a fair bit of ability, but there was just a couple of quirks that sort of, often put me off when she was in a race, whether she was going to be able to win, but she seemed to have matured into a very, very nice type, and the sky's the limit for her, I think.
Be very careful. Troy Harley is tuned in. I believe he's sitting in the heated commentator's box with Gareth Hall for the coverage of Pink Diamond. Must say with that too, Daniel, make sure everyone goes to the Watchdog app to keep across that. Sky Active and the likes. But yeah, the Watchdog app will be where it'll be. But I think Gareth and Troy are going to be in the studio back in Melbourne, not braving the cold weather of Ballarat, which would be about typical.
Are you kidding? You're not going to be on course?
No.
Oh, that's soft.
It's very soft. Yeah. But it fits. It actually fits in with both of them, doesn't it?
Well, yeah.
Yeah. So I think they're sending poor old Patch, Jason Adams. He's doing the on-track stuff there. So yeah, he's got no meat on his bones. He's got no hope. His teeth will be rattling before he gets out of the car. The poor bugger. So, but anyway.
Well, I know the split system in the box is pretty good at Ballarat, so it'll be cranking on Friday night, I guarantee.
And then my friends at Woodlands also doing a terrific job. Sweet Lou so far has had 22 individual 2-year-old winners this season alone, which is just phenomenal. And I think, I'm going to keep championing it on. Yep, I get paid to promote Woodlands, but I think that's huge. Flying under the radar. You don't see a lot of other people mentioning it, but it's a terrific job for a horse that offers a lot of breeding possibilities for your fillies going forward as well.
The truth's in the numbers.
Yep.
That's all it is.
Mate, you'd get a job with Hughesy. You're not bad, you know. That's one of Hughesy's sayings.
Is it?
Yeah, he comes back with that. So no, it's all good, and there's plenty going on there in the Woodlands camp. Keep watching Campbell's comments. Maybe not this month, early next month we'll be doing a few things there. So I encourage people to do it. The only other one, Daniel, Harness Breeders Victoria have got their stay-in guide. Picked the cover for the stay-in guide for Harness Breeders Victoria. So there's 6 horses there up on the screen right now that I've got, not that you can see because you're driving, and you get to vote for one of those 6 horses. The catch is, Daniel, you must go to Harness Breeders Victoria's Facebook page and vote on their page. Don't vote on the anyone that shared it. It's been shared 100 times. It hasn't been, that's a lie, but a lot of times. If you vote on someone that shared it, your vote don't count. Desiree can only do it through the official page. So make sure you go to HBV or Harness Breeders Victoria. It is actually on Facebook, and go in there, and you'll see it's pinned at the top. Very easy to find. Great competition. Get involved and have a bit of fun there. So make sure you do that. And also they are still after some like-minded, aggressive young people in the breeding barn to get involved with their committee. So Harness Breeders Victoria looking for some committee people. Contact Desiree through the proper channels. You'll see all that on their HBV website, and you can go from there. So that'll be great. And yes.g, there are some great photos. More traditional photos this year. I like it. There's not ones laying down. They're actually much more traditional, and I have a bit of a soft spot for them. That's for sure. I don't know too many of those horses, but they're all good ones. The 2 cuddling is very, very good as well. So, Daniel, Marie Newbury, colder and wet today here around Shepparton. Couldn't have been much colder than last night, Marie. I know that because it was horrendous there. I was there doing an interview. Look forward to that. If it works. I did a thing with Blanche Poole, Daniel, something very different. Campbell's comments likes different, and Blanche has given a great insight into a product, something we've done, and hopefully it works as good as what I've said it will. But yeah, keep your eye out for that. But I was there last night standing about 3:30, 4 o'clock in the hour, and it was cold. So yes, if it's colder there today, good luck to you. But she's right. It's one of the strongest regions of racing in Victoria. And with those sheds, it's only going to get stronger. So, yeah, it's terrific.
Absolutely. It's a really brilliant initiative. And, a lot of clubs, we've got we've got the couple of tables up there that are used, which is good enough for like Charlotte, Shepparton can produce. And, it's a pretty step forward by the club.
Daniel, unfortunately, you can't do this one. Nicole Nunn has sent a message through. Give me a wave, Uncle Daniel. Sorry, Nicole, but he's actually in the car driving. So, and
that'll be my cousin Joe. That'll be my cousin Josie wanting that.
Well, I can't. Yeah, we can't do it. So he does look like he's got his. It looks like he's got his grumpy face on, but it's because Melbourne got beat again 3 in a row. So that's why the grumpy face is on. But yeah, it's only a photo.
Don't read anything into it. Don't read anything into it. We're right.
Right. So what does Harry's Devo mean?
Huh?
Harry's Devo.
Harry's my other nephew, but I don't know.
Well, maybe it's Harry that you're meant to be waving to. So unfortunately, they're not going
to.
Yeah.
Hello, Harry.
So now they can't see him. So I'm sorry about that, Nicole. But yeah, couldn't. I'll have to get an animated one of you, Daniel. That's for sure. I changed my intro. That's another thing I must ask people. That would be next week's question. If they like my new intro, I've changed it up. So I've got an almost official one, but it's not. It's just a bit of fun, Daniel, but that's what it is. That's what this show is actually all about. Don't forget the Charlton Harness Racing Club. Get involved with them on their Facebook page. Too late for the tipping contest, but if you like and subscribe to it now, next time they do one, you'll be ready for it as well. And it is a bit of fun, isn't it, Daniel?
It is, but I am taking it serious.
Yeah. Brooke Hanson, hello Brookie. You're late to the party, but that's okay. We'll say hello to Brookie, as she's got there. I don't know if that's necessarily always the way it works. Thank you to everyone that's contributed. I've really enjoyed it. Jokingly said, as I said to Daniel last week, that it is number one harness racing talkback show. Firmly had my tongue in my. I had my tongue in my cheek. It's a way of promoting, but yeah, I encourage people to get involved. It will continue to do this. We might, as I said, once a day get a bit longer. It gets a bit trickier for myself and for Daniel to be able to do it. But for the next couple of weeks, while it's so cold, imagine we had regional racing. I could go around, set up the Facebook page. We won't go there, Daniel. That won't work. But while it is so cold, we will be doing it for definitely the next 3 to 4 weeks. So thank you very much. Don't forget, Sunday, 10 till 2, I'll be live from Euroby. With the, I suppose, pre-parade of all their stock that will go up next week on the online platform for Auctions Plus. So make sure you go to nutrienequine.com.au or Auctions Plus to follow both of those. But I'll be there and I'll be back next Wednesday. Are you calling next Wednesday, Daniel?
Yeah, I think so.
At Bendigo?
Pretty sure.
All right. If it's not too bad at weather one day, we might even go out there. We might even get the great Troy Harley. He'd probably go there as long as we could get inside. He wouldn't watch it if we had to sit outside on the deck.
He wouldn't sit outside.
No, that'd be too hard for Troy, that's for sure. So, Nicole Nunn, mateys night. Thanks, Uncle Daniel. So you've done the great job there. You've done a good job, mate. The Queensland Racing Winter Carnival too. It's coming up underneath the feed there. So, yeah, a lot of good racing coming up. In Queensland, there'll be a lot of eyes there. That's another reason for having regional racing. People could go campaign their horses and stay up there and complement the harness racing family. So it'd be really, really cool. You've got 2 minutes to go before the running of race 5. Can't tell you who's favourite in this next race, but you've got a couple of minutes to go. So make sure you go to the trots.com.au to watch that through Trots Vision and get all the insights from Luke Humphries, I think, calling tonight. Full wrap.
He is, yeah.
And get all the full wrap of that. So the trots.com.au. But as I said, there's about 2 minutes to go. I'm not going to wobble on for that. You haven't got anything else?
No, I'm good, mate.
All right. Thank you very much, Daniel. I really appreciate it. Thank you for everyone that's contributed to the show. I've really enjoyed it. I want next week's show, one thing I will say, I want tips on how to keep warm through winter. Surely people out there have got them, so that's part of next week's show. Plus, depending on what happens during the week with harness racing, the agenda will be something random like tonight, or it could be something very, very serious. But thank you very much to everyone for joining me and contributing. And thank you very much, Daniel Hibberd. Thanks to all my sponsors as well. Thanks, Daniel.